like, where is she?
Yeah. And that's what you hear, folks. Is
where are the other drugs going?
To Bobby
and
Lashley.
welcome to
like this is a funny
edition of Podcast Champs. We have the literal freeform going on right now with myself, Deo, Darnell, and Kat. You can find us on Twitter, respectively. Deo, D-E-O, Darnell at D.A.M, Kat at the Cruiser Cat, which I love that nickname, and myself at Damon G347. Gang, let's just lob it up in the air. We were talking off air. Kimberly put her foot in her mouth. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
And then she doubled down by talking about she's going to live in the real world because, you know, veganism is not in the real world, apparently. But I want to get everyone's thoughts. So anyone please jump in on that.
White people are crazy.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts. That's basically where it ends. Like this was like, because you hear this all the time too. Like it's always like they want to, whatever their righteous thing that they're going through. Oh yeah, well, you know, at one point in time, you know, Slater was like, you see, you already started off on a bad foot. You already started off on a bad foot by having slavery there. And then when you compare it to something like being a vegan, you know, especially like when most people, veganism is performative and they really aren't doing, you know, the full steps of being a vegan. It's like I was out at the farmer's market the other day and this chick is on her phone and she's like, oh yeah, I'm a vegan, but I supplement my diet with chicken. I said, what the fuck?
The fuck?
How does that work?
That's not how that works.
That's not how this works at all.
It's and this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that there's only one group of people, of vegans in particular, that make these comparisons. Like if you find yourself, and this is not the first time a wrestler has compared something. I remember a particular wrestler compared something to blackface, and I was like, yo, man, it's not really the same. So why don't you just let it live on itself? You know, that can be bad on itself. But there's a natural tendency from white folk who automatically want to compare something to the plights of black people. And it's just like, yeah, man, can't y'all just have your own shit? Why do we automatically have to compare it to like the worst thing you can think of for black people? Because it's I don't see the correlation. Eat your fucking greens and sit the fuck down.
Right. And it wasn't just so about slavery too. Like she compared it to the advancement of like gay rights and like a whole host of things. And it was like just sit in your corner and eat your kale salad. Like don't like we didn't ask for you to comment on this.
No one is lynching you for eating avocados.
Right. You and your avocado toast that Ronda Rousey hates so much.
I can't stand the fact that that's a thing. Fucking avocado toast.
You know who that's not Ronda Rousey saying that. That's so this is a proxy where Ronda Rousey is Vince McMahon and company and Becky Lynch is the rest of us. This is how that's playing out because it's like every time she says something, I'm like, this is like straight out of like a men's rights advocates like for
literally
what she's saying.
You're a millennial girl.
A millennial. You are, you know, the tight jeans wearing. She says this while wearing tight jeans herself. Like, I was like, what are we talking about here? She called it. I think she called her
about anymore.
She called her like a beta male too. It's like, what is?
She said she had penis envy.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Oh, it was so bad. Just yeah.
She's just a fucking lost cause on her on her own. I don't think she'll ever equate to. I always say Shayna Baszler is everything that they want in Ronda. Yes. So just fucking go all in Shayna.
Yeah.
Fuck Ronda.
Like I hope.
It's funny because like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no! At the taping last night, they had we finally had the two other horsewomen debut, but also Shayna came out. And the people in the crowd were chanting Ronda's shadow at her. And I was like, that is literally, you are not grasping what we are watching. We are not grasping because if anything, she is in Shayna's shadow because who is the superior wrestler between the two of them?
This is true. Like, this is very true.
What are those other girls' names though? Like seriously.
So Marina Shafir and
Jessamine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jessamine?
Jessamine, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That name's right up there with like the Jadens, Jalen's, all the J names that they like to name mixed kids. So yeah.
Darnell, what did you
Is
call?
she mixed?
Did you
She's
call
not just white?
No, she's just white. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
she's
okay.
just white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darnell? What did you call them the other day? Creator wrestler? What?
Creator wrestler number 3. Like it's like a default sim. I'm like, you have I can't pick you out. Like homegirl's ain't nothing wrong with broad shoulders, girl, but learn how to work them. Like she's just walking out all broad. Like I'm like, is this Bane? What's going on?
Wow.
Bane.
None of you have any like features or attributes that like make you interesting. So I don't care that you're there. No one knows who you are. No one cares. Mary and Jessica, sit down, please.
Right.
Go.
And that's the thing too. So like even in mixed martial arts, they didn't have any personalities then either. It was
Were they in the UFC or no?
So Jessamine was in the UFC for a short period of time. She washed out. Shayna was, I think she was on the Ultimate Fighter and washed out in just the tryout matches to get in, but I don't think so. But and Marina Shafir, she didn't even get to the UFC because both of her pro fights, she got sent to the land of wind and ghosts within seconds of the match starting. No, like I'm when I say she got her head dribbled off the mat, I am not joking.
Doesn't she have cute kids with Roger Strong?
Yes.
Okay.
She's got
Yeah, they're adorable.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's her redeeming quality.
Factor.
That she's a good mom. That she got good genetics.
right? But
Your
like,
kid's cute. You're all right.
but even like back then, like Marina Shafir was, so she's known Ronda the longest, I believe, and then Shayna Baszler came after, and then Jessamine Duke was like the last one that came into it, and it was like, if we're really talking about mixed martial arts, like Shayna Baszler, she's been fighting since I was in high school, and like she was like the pioneer of it. Ronda's just the one that got the attention, like the mainstream attention and stuff.
She's conventionally attractive, but keep going. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, that's no two ways about
exactly
it. Like, that is exactly it. Like she, and in the beginning portion of her like MMA career, like she was like, yeah, I am going to use my looks and trash talk as much as possible to get the fan base that I need, and it worked. But like, yeah, like the folks like Shayna, because Shayna is not like Western, like when it comes to Western standards of beauty, she's not.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd let Shayna hit it.
I would too, but like. I like thigh meat, so I'm like, hey, she's got that in spades. But like, get it?
I get it. Intended.
Get it?
Wow.
Yeah. I'll be here all week. Tip the waitress to try the veal.
Jeez.
But that's actually a good point about Shayna, because I know Ronda is manufactured. WWE's pretty girl that could beat up somebody, manufactured.
Right.
Shayna, from the minute she debuted, she had the Four Horsemen type theme, when she came out. And if you saw her on the indies, I think all of us have.
I didn't get that on indies, but
you could see that she had it.
Right.
She's legitimately tough. She looks like she could beat the crap out of you. But at the same token, I'd take her to prom if I was a teenager. Why not?
I take her to prom.
Hey, she beat the shit out of you and your friends at the prom, but
that's the point. I'd be like, yeah, you ain't fucking my girlfriend. Yeah, she'll whoop your ass. Go ahead.
But like, so this is the other thing too. He's been doing a pro wrestling gimmick basically for like the past 15, almost 20 years now.
Right.
Like, she has been the queen of spades that whole time. She would cut pro wrestling promos. She's been training with Josh Barnett, who so he's done pro wrestling matches in New Japan and like a few others, but he's actually I guess like one of the highest ranks you can get in catch wrestling. So like he's been training her for a long time in this stuff. So she was kind of already tailor-made to just jump in and be okay. And like with Ronda, yes, you learn break falls and judo, but like you're not gonna learn how to like really wrestle for like, it's gonna take years for that to happen. And she's only been doing this like a year and a half, if that.
Yeah, the only thing I don't even like about Shayna is Josh Barnett, because there's something about him that I I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. Did he say something about the Proud Boys and like saying they weren't like?
Oh yeah, no, he's said a lot of stupid stuff. It's weird because like
Yeah.
he has said some questionable stuff, but he also likes ethnic women. So it's this like,
Oh,
all right.
well, surprise!
Right. So it's like I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but something's up. But like, and he popped for steroids so many times in MMA that it's like, all right, if he shows up, we just kind of assume that he's on it. But
by the way, Topher's in the chat, and he's saying that he would not take Shayna to anywhere, not even to the prom.
Well, Topher, I don't care.
I'd hold her hand if she wouldn't break it.
Truth.
She wouldn't rip my arm off. I'd totally hold her hand.
So then explain this to me. What the F is the point about including these two hanger-ons as if they're on the same level of the WWE 4 horsewomen? Like, there's nothing marketable about it. What is that? Ronda and her cronies? Now it's Shayna, Ronda, and what? The Beatles? Like, Ringo? What is it?
Because WWE is obsessed with this idea of realism and like real fighting. So like the idea that they even did MMA, it doesn't matter if they got their fucking head knocked off like one of those fucking rock'em sock'em like robot things.
That's actually how it looked too.
Right. But that's like, it's still the fact that they actually fought and they're real people, which to me is like the weirdest way to sell wrestling.
Right.
Like, you're saying that you're a shitty wrestler or whatever, you're a shitty person because you don't actually fight. And I'm not really sure. I don't want them to fight because that's why I like wrestling and I'm not watching this. It's very unusual what they do, but like, I would much rather watch Sasha than Marina. So I can't.
You can't even remember her actual name. You're gonna call her every other name but her real name.
It's like, who is Marcy?
Marsha.
Oh my god.
Marina.
Why do you think they're so obsessed with the idea of realism in professional fucking wrestling? I mean, you guys do an Irish rip. What's
That's the realest move in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Irish rip. Like, yeah, I'm gonna run into the ropes and just automatically turn around.
You're just gonna get into a fight at the mall or something, and break that out, and just it's fine.
Like, I'm gonna throw somebody into the elevator shaft.
Fight before and like body slams and things of that nature. But like, those things can be pulled off. But like an Irish whip, it's like, like if you try to throw somebody like that, you're just gonna put them right head first into something. But like, I don't know, because it's weird. Because like if we look at like the history of pro wrestling, when it comes, especially like in like the modern age, like Antonio Inoki tried to do this whole hybrid, MMA / pro wrestling thing for a while, and like Inokiism basically killed New Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling and all that stuff back in the day, because like, one, people were like legit getting knocked out. Like there are so many you never really knew whether it was a real fight, whether it was like a pro, like it was a work or a shoot, but it was like, that's dangerous. And all these folks aren't actually like cut out to be actual fighters. Like, I highly doubt there are many people on that roster that can like really fight, like even like the other day with Ronda and Baron Corbin, where she like stepped up to him. I was like, see, here's the thing, Ronda. You are not good at throwing punches with people. And Baron Corbin's actually a Golden Gloves champion, which means he's actually at least decent at it. But isn't
that the funniest thing though? When she started wrestling, when like that was her thing, it was montages of her throwing punches. I was like, girl, you got knocked the fuck out the last time. Why is that your thing? Your so fucking bad. Punches. You look awful. I can throw a better punch, and that's saying a shit.
Right? Like, what? Like, I have no idea. Like when she punches, how her fist goes a full 360 degrees.
Right?
And like, it's how is this? And like she
mashing potatoes or something. I'm like,
right.
Oh my god.
It's so bad.
Wow.
Well, I got two questions for y'all. One is a funny one. So who has worse wrestling punches, her or Shane McMahon? That's the first question. Because his punches look like slippy slaps. So that's one. And number two, going back to the obsession with realism. You mentioned Antonio Inoki. I want to bring it to an American audience. How much do you think ECW had a hand in realistic wrestling or spots?
Well, one, Shane McMahon's are the worst. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
No two ways. Like,
hands down.
Like, he looks like he's slap fighting somebody. It's terrible.
Well, because also he's doing it while he's like a weird pink color, so he looks like uncooked meat, just like hoping for the best. So none of it's flattering. She's like, I'm just like, ooh, honey. It's really bad. It's really bad.
And the thing about it is, right? So the guy that trains him, Phil Crew Nurse, he has been like the trainer to some UFC champions. Like George St. Pierre is one of like the all-time greats. And it's like, you have all of this money and one of the best trainers in the world, and you still can't throw punches properly?
You know what?
What is going on?
Let's not put any shade on Shane McMahon. He's the best wrestler in the world.
In the world. He's got the
I gotta go.
God.
I gotta go. Hold on. I think someone's at the door.
It's Shane McMahon with the trophy.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. So very bad.
But the Antonio, I didn't know much about him. I think this is one of the positives of Twitter is that I've seen a lot of graphics, GIFs. I always have to
you say it
that
properly
first before I say it, to not say the other way. But I don't know. I don't know if ECW had a big effect on the idea of realism. I think ECW has a big effect on the idea that wrestling needs to be ultra violent to be good. But then when you turn around and you look at ECW back in the day, there wasn't a lot of wrestling happening, and it wasn't that good. In my opinion.
Yeah. Now, like you had like a handful of really great matches. So like when you would have like the Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko matches,
of course,
or like Super Crazy versus Tajiri.
Yeah.
Or like even Tommy Dreamer versus like Raven. Like those were really good when they weren't in like crazy hardcore mode. They were great. But like most of the shit, like if anytime New Jack showed up, we knew what it was. Like this isn't wrestling. Like this is just a bad BDSM session. But like
they forgot the safe word.
Exactly. Right? Like there really wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
Like when we think of like ECW and like the great moments, like we forget about all the trash that also came along with it. Like we forget about like the whole thing of like when they had Kimono Wanalea
dancing atop the ECW arena.
Girl,
I do not need to see your little wobbly bits like this. What is the point of this?
And we don't, and like of course they don't like to bring up like the wild sexism that was going on as well.
Oh my god! If I heard the word faggot one more time, I was like, "Am I living at home? What's happening right now?" Like flashbacks were coming. Like that stuff was awful.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like it like nostalgia. It holds a place because staying up until like 2 o'clock in the morning to watch it on public access. That's always gonna like stick with me. But like, yeah, but it's so bad. It's really bad.
By the way, Topher says he has the tape of Kimono somewhere in his house.
And you don't see anything.
Oh, you've seen it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I've seen it. When she's wearing the little black dress, right? Oh wait, no, when she's stripping.
No, that was Fran. No, like
That's Francine.
Like, she's supposed.
No. It's the Asian lady, right?
Right. So that she did a couple of things, but no, she basically danced on top of some like bingo hall somewhere. And like with like a towel, and like people were pissed because you don't see anything. It's like, did y'all really think that they were gonna have like a whole ass striptease up here? No.
Yeah, but it's also like it's the weirdest thing. I love me some man, but like I'm not watching it and be like, oh my god, I hope his balls fall out. Like that never crosses. I've just watched porn. Well, I guess this was also 1999. So if you wanted to watch porn, you just have to wait for all those pixels to like.
Oh yeah,
the jumble.
You put the like sitting there as like, oh yeah, like every like every 10 minutes you see like a whole half of an areola. It was a great time. Great time.
You like molest yourself for 20 seconds at a time.
Right.
I'm so glad that I'm too young for this
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh, it was so bad. Like you didn't leave. You like, yeah, it was the dark ages back then. It was the dark ages.
Apparently,
like
you're masturbating to pixels. Yeah.
Like right now, we just have
rough.
we have access to everything at your fingertips at all times now.
Literally.
Nah, we did. Like we did not have such things. It was yeah, like we would have to watch a lot of times, like even with like the network. This is like that as much since I'm boycotting the network right now because, you know, the whole Saudi Arabia thing, but like,
yeah,
it is still one of like the dopest things that you can just watch all this stuff. Because back when, I guess when Damian and I and possibly Darnell too, like back in the days when like either you had to catch it on VHS like forever after when it actually showed up, or you had to spend like $60-$70 every single time for a paper.
Well, this is the good thing. When I was a kid, you know, sometimes every Sunday, you know, you would just sit in the kitchen, you just watch the scramble, the little snow, because you could hear it because they used to call fucking moves. So Jim Ross, I knew everything what was happening. But then our next door neighbors had a box.
Yeah.
So we would go over every fucking pay-per-view and just watch it with them. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Kat, did you have like stolen cable back then where you could watch the pay-per-views for free?
My dad did all that. I don't know what he did. I really like I had because like I used to watch it with my dad, and then I had like a great aunt that she was like 70 years old, and she like
a great aunt, or just like a great, like she was awesome.
Like she's awesome.
Oh, both.
Okay.
Oh, good.
But yeah, like a little bit of both because she was cool. She had this old like maroon Cadillac, and it had like this really terrible like interior, like the entire inside of this thing was velvet, and it was the same color as the outside. But she loved wrestling, and she made actually pretty bomb meatloaf. But she like, I'd go to her house and she'd like buy a pay-per-view, and it was just, I remember like a lot of Sundays of her just screaming at the TV, like cursing everybody. And then I'd go home with my dad. My dad would just like sit there with like a beer and just casually watch it. And I was like, damn, this is two extremes. Like I go from like my dad who's just like watching the product to like her who's like, ah!
who was like her main person, the one that she like really got her going in a good way and a bad way, I guess.
She really loved Foley.
Oh,
she was like, yeah, she loved him, and she was like, man, he's such a teddy bear. And then like there was a point where when she started getting older, she like couldn't tell the difference between like the personalities, so she was like, who's that? And I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
This is not good.
She was like, that Cactus Jack looks like Mick Foley.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well, this shit was cool when she watched it with you. I mean, $70 is the thing that kind of,
it was ridiculous, yeah,
is that people pay that now. Like people still buy pay-per-views.
Yeah,
still buy pay-per-views.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. From like there's cable
for
right?
the WWE.
Yeah, for the WWE, people still buy that shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I thought.
No,
wait a minute.
Kat, yeah, people still pay full pay-per-view pricing for it.
You're fucking with me.
No,
I have not boycotted WWE. I'm just using someone else's login.
I'm definitely watching on my code.
Yeah.
So
I'm not giving them my money.
Right. Exactly.
And I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown in forever. You know, you just keep getting those direct TV. That's fucking, I'm like all the shades of Foley. You just keep getting those direct TV like free trials and you watch a lot. New email address. I'm like a new person each time. You ain't getting my money. But yeah, people still pay like $49.95 for fucking paper.
Yep.
Like fucking crazy people.
I'm literally like, oh my god, my mind is blown. But you know what? I will say I sat next to a family at Full Sail that told us they paid $400 for their tickets.
What the fuck?
Wait, at Full Sail?
I laughed and I felt like an asshole afterwards.
Oh wow.
Yes, 100%. the guy said, because he was sitting in front of us, and I was like, "Hey, sir, I can't see. Can you sit down?" He's like, "I paid $400 for these tickets. I'm not sitting down." And then I laughed because I'm a dickhead, and I just kept laughing.
Aren't they like
And then he was like,
$15?
"Yes, $15."
I would have been like, hey,
15.
just being because I'm an asshole, I'd have been like, yo, you do know that these are $15 a piece, right?
I did. And then he didn't say a single word.
That is
I was like,
fantastic.
why? Why did you let yourself get ripped off like this?
Right.
Why?
Like it's not even like it's a takeover, right? Like I
Yeah,
can
it's
understand
just-
it's a takeover, right?
Right.
Ooh,
I
You
paid
paid-
$700 for a takeover ticket once.
like that I
How
could see. That's like, but where was the
700.
seat? Where was the seats though? That's-
So this was WrestleMania Cali. So this is San Jose. So this is Shinsuke Nakamura's debut.
okay.
And like
Oh,
my
okay, well,
friends
that was
had
lit then.
tickets, and I didn't. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I had a good job back then. So I'm like literally like when Sami Zayn comes out, you can see me right behind him. I'm like not in the first row, but immediately to the right of it, or the left of it, whatever, like directionals.
Yeah.
But you can see me the entire time. I mean, I had an amazing time. I was by myself. I had a lot, and I was like right next to where the curtain was, and the drinks were right outside there, so I was fine.
Smart.
Right. Yeah. No, like I can understand. Like I can definitely understand paying for that. But like paying $400 to see like Lacey Evans come out,
Get
looking
the
like,
hell out
Yeah.
of here.
like uncooked chicken,
Like
and stuff.
4 times.
Yeah, like 4 times. That's crazy when you think about it. It is like 4 fucking times.
Okay, so
Yes.
Kat, since you're the only person that's been to a Full Sail taping of NXT, so like, how does that? What's the atmosphere like there? Because we only get to see this stuff on TV, and like, I'm gonna be real with you, I hate a lot of the NXT audience at Full Sail just because it's like,
I totally understand that, yeah.
yeah, like somebody barely walks out, and we already got a "This is awesome" chant. It's like, no, don't do it, don't, why y'all? But
Yeah.
yeah.
So like do you like know how the taping itself works, or just like you
So,
got
like-
no insider information
Oh,
into
yeah,
how this
so, like,
works?
So when you go to NXT taping, how many
Mhm.
tapings do you see in one sitting?
We're there for like it's like 6:37 to like 10ish, so like 3 hours of TV pretty
Oh
much.
my God.
I thought you were going
Yeah.
to say 6 to 7 hours, and when you said
Like, ooh.
No,
7, I was
no,
like, no.
the only time that they have done, the only time I've been there for that long was when they taped the Mae Young Classic, and that was, it was back to back 2 days. It was like 4 hours both days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like the just the TV tapings, they're like 3 hours ish. You get like, you don't see like the backstage segments being filmed. They usually do that like when they're filming matches anyway. So it's like happening behind the school. No, a lot of the crowd is let's just say that I'm happy that I don't GA very often anymore. Because every
and by
time
GA,
that I have,
she means general admission.
Thank you.
yeah, sorry, yeah, like I don't sit like in the back. I'm in my plant seat, my quote unquote
yes.
plant seats.
Because you are everybody's favorite plant.
You're like, I'm not one of those Negroes. I'm not sitting in the back.
I'm the
Rosa
cookie girl
Parks.
that
Every
goes to the
time-
front.
Rosa Parks said no.
They're so annoying. Okay, like Mike doesn't go with me anymore because every time that we have gone together, we have almost gotten into a fight with somebody because like people are reckless. They talk spicy. They're like racist as hell. They're transphobic. It's like real unnecessary when you call them on it. Like, you want to go outside? And I'm like, bet, let's fucking go. I'm from
Right.
Broward, bro. I don't care. I got nothing to lose. I'm like, I'm like, let's fucking go. And then like, no, I don't. I'm just gonna. It's like, yeah. So like, I don't even. It's just a mess.
Yeah, me and
It's like-
Damien have talked about that a bunch of times before, like how everybody is very, and like, especially like on wrestling Twitter, everybody is very quick to say that they're going to beat somebody up, but they actually wouldn't in real life.
Yes.
I'm not beating up a fucking
There's-
soul. I ain't hitting you. I'm gonna tell you about yourself, and if you want to hit me, you better be prepared because I know a lawyer, and it will be a hate crime. Like, I will hit
you with the law.
I will hit you with the fucking law. That's why I talk a lot of shit, but I always say I ain't gonna do nothing but swing, bitch, swing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm an island kid. I will glass somebody in a heartbeat. So yeah,
I don't know how to
saying.
fight, but I know how to drop kick to the knee.
Oh my god.
If I learned something from wrestling, it's how to kick someone in the balls. Okay.
Exactly.
Very true.
Damian only low blows.
I am straight up Shinsuke Nakamura-ing everybody. You catch one, you catch one, you catch one. I'm good.
Oh yeah, and I'm loving Shinsuke's Fashion Nova fits right now.
Oh
Those
my god.
outfits
I know. I'm
are
like, drop the code.
He did look like a Power Rangers at the Survivor Series. I was like, with that deep V, all right, go ahead.
I thought he was a figure
clavicle.
Yeah,
I, Tanya, I Nakamura. Goodness.
Oh, great. Now Torfer wants to get the hashtag Damian low blows going. Like, let's not do that. All right,
We're doing that once I
Do
get
it.
out of here.
Well, no, because remember, I work with children. They might misinterpret that. As
This is
something
also
else.
true.
Oh, you work with children? You work with the kids?
I work with the kids and children's, because Damian like kids.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Right now I'm on my Bernie Mac shit. Fuck them kids. Nah, bro. Like I worked with kids for about 3 years. That was the best birth control I could have ever gotten in my life.
I can
I
see
think
why
they're
Cat has
adorable.
cats.
Oh, they're adorable when they're not
From
yours.
afar. Like, stay over there. I don't.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I used to want them when I was younger, and then I grew up. And I realized that I can't. That's not what's happening in my life.
They're better when they're not yours.
Yeah, they're amazing when they're not yours because I can just play. I'll play with you for like 3 hours and then get the fuck away from me.
I like raised my brother, so like I'm like I had my kid, I'm good. Like
There you go. I got all
I
the
was like going to
joys,
college. Yeah, I went to college and raised a kid. I'm like, I'm done, bro. I'm good.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Yeah. So what else is going on in pro wrestling right now other than people with the whole vegan slavery thing?
You know what? Let's go back to
That's
that
such a
real
weird
quick.
thing
'Cause
you have to say.
Like-
yeah, let's just.
I want to go
return
back to
to
that
that
really quick because I
topic.
want to read the quote because some people are like, well, it wasn't that bad. I'm like,
Yes, it was. Yes, it
what
was.
the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about? Like, it's not that bad. So in my Christian Bale Batman voice, I'm going to read this really quick. So I am the law. Anyway. All right. Okay. Quote 150 years ago, they would have thought you were absurd if you advocated for the end of slavery. 100 years ago, they would have laughed at you for suggesting that women should have the right to vote. 50 years ago, they would have objected to the idea of African Americans receiving equal rights under the law. 25 years ago, they would have called you a pervert if you advocated for gay rights. They laugh at us now for suggesting that animal slavery be ended. Someday they won't be laughing, end quote. And that is from Gary Smith. So it didn't really come from her. She just retweeted or reposted a quote from.
So what? She's still a
Gary Smith.
dumbass.
Exactly. Like,
Is there anyone vegan on or like no one's vegan?
No.
Okay, not that there's anything wrong with it.
No.
Before anyone tweets me, don't you fucking tweet me that. But this is the thing that I don't understand about like when you do this preachy like veganism thing is that like I just don't get it because it's like the earliest man and woman like were killing animals to live and using their hides to live, and it was a natural thing, and it was a way of sort of like kind of sort of keeping the population in control as well. So that's significantly different than a human being enslaving another entire race and torturing them all and lynching them. Like one is used as a dietary need, and I get it, like, you know, but there's also been so many studies about like how certain vegans are actually not getting all the nutrients that they need. I don't understand. You can be, I just think it's so dumb
That's all. Yeah,
it's a conversation. I eat less meat now because I realize, like, like, hey, I don't need to eat a steak twice a week.
Right.
Yeah, that can be a little bit more special. I don't need to eat a hamburger a couple of times a week. And like, because of my vegan friends who are normal fucking people, that has curbed my appetite for some of this meat. But telling me, and I tweeted this, telling me like, yo, Tyrone or Harriet Tubman would be like, yo, nigga, like, why? This is the same. Like, that's not going to do anything for me. Like, what are you trying to do? Because I don't understand it.
Right.
Like, I'm rereading the quote now to myself, and I'm thinking, animal slavery, wouldn't that be a zoo of some sort, if you want to really be technical?
Yeah, like there's so many, like it's just
like a circus.
It's
circus.
Yeah. And like they love to like post the videos of like slaughterhouses, and of course, yes, there are a lot of very bad slaughterhouses and things of that nature.
I don't give a shit. I'm eating bacon tomorrow.
I'm still gonna eat bacon.
I'm so sorry.
Like I am still going to like. Templeton was right in Charlotte's Web. Wilbur should have been crispy. Like this is like
wow.
It is what it is. But like,
oh man.
But at the same time, like if you have a conversation with me, and like when it comes to stuff like being a vegan and things like that, yeah, sure, have a conversation with me, and actually show me vegan food that tastes good, which I have had before.
Oh, so some of it tastes delicious.
Oh yeah, like
for sure.
But then like also because my last place that I stayed with a roommate, like she ate the same thing every single night, and I was like, how do you do that? And then like I tasted it one time, and I was like, yo, this is terrible. Like on top of that, she would have to like sprinkle like dietary protein on the top of it and all this.
Is it weird when vegans also eat food that like supposedly tastes like meat?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's fakin, which is fake bacon. There's sausage, which soy is not really good for you at all to eat.
No.
Like there's all these different like fake meat things, and it's like, yo, you don't have to call it a fake version of something. Just call it something else. Like that's my biggest gripe with it. Cause like I watch Hot Ones on Complex, and like they'll have like vegan chicken wings. It's like, it's not a chicken wing though. It's not a chicken wing. It's whatever.
It's barbecue sauce.
Right. It's like whatever plant-based nonsense y'all threw together. But it's not chicken. Don't call it chicken. Like it's just not. And like I have had there is a brand called Beyond.
I've seen it. We have it here.
Beyond Burgers.
Beyond Burgers, yeah.
So much stuff. I
heard they are actually really good, and like they kind of sort of do brown like it's actual meat, but at the same time, like they don't say that it's a hamburger. Like they call it, it's a Beyond Burger because it's not actual. But yeah, it's so you can find good stuff. But like when like folks are like militant about it, I'm like, yeah. This is just making me want to go get a Baconator.
Because there's just certain sort of, and I tried to sort of like step back a little bit on my Twitter in the past couple of months and realize like I got to be careful of how I write things, because like I don't want to come off as on a pedestal or a higher morality, like my ethics are better than your ethics, because that's just fucking weird. But I mean, like if you're vegan and you're telling me all this stuff, but then I turn around and I see you hit the fly. Like
right,
and like kill a roach. I'm like, yo, well, what the fuck is going on here?
Them?
Like, what about them?
Does that not count as cruelty?
Sally needs to get home to Jerry and their 5,000 babies. Like,
yeah, like
you're picking and you're choosing, but they don't matter. It's just these, like, that's the thing where it becomes a slippery slope. Because I don't know many people who are able to 100% be able to fulfill this idea of perfectionism in anything that they do.
Yeah, no,
it's impossible.
Unless your name is Austin Aries.
Look, Austin Aries. Like,
well, this is the thing. Oh, I don't know if you guys want to hear that, so never mind.
Wait, you can't do that.
No, I was.
Don't you do that?
I was talking to a female wrestler. She's she's formerly a wrestler. She lives in the UK, and we were talking about Aleister Black, and we were talking about Austin Aries, and we started talking about Takeover because she hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Girl, I think Kat, you know what I'm referencing." Aleister is that Alistair is hefty. And
Alistair's packing the weapon.
we were thinking about poor Zelina. She went from a little man to a big man.
Yo, okay, so let's talk about Zelina for a second.
Elvis is shattered to smithereens.
He gets a black mass every night, right? Yeah.
No! Oh my god. Well, you know he has to have that cup on because his testiculars could get torsed again.
Oh yeah, testicular torsion. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what happened before.
White people got them big low hanging balls too. So like you gotta be extra careful down there.
Oh my god! You know that I am engaged to a white dude, right?
Yes,
exactly. And you know what bitch ain't lying either.
I am dead. He just walked in the room. He's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
But look, so like Zelina is wildly small too.
She's like 5 feet.
No, she's shorter than 5 feet. Like
she's like 4'9".
Yeah, like Alexa Bliss is 5 feet. There is no way in hell that Zelina is anything taller than 4'5". Like it is.
I just had an image of her just flipping off the chandeliers, just like going for it.
Oh no!
Let's do it. Alistair is a great base.
I'm gonna scream.
And plus, we all know Zelina's Puerto Rican, right? I believe she's Puerto Rican, so she's into that freaky deaky shit too. So.
Oh goodness.
Woo. And Damian says this as a Puerto Rican, so
yeah, no.
But like so, sometimes
I kind of wonder, like, okay, like with the offense and stuff like that she has in the ring, like how it's dope as hell how she's even able to like. So when like Drew McIntyre and Andrade were like having their feud, and she was like, everything was believable that she was doing. Because it was like, even though you can fit in my pocket, like you are actually doing damage out here. It's like, this is, so shout out to her for even being able to pull that off, because poor Bailey still can't make stuff look real. And she is all cross-fitted out.
Are you talking about Pamela?
Yep, Pamela.
Yes, we are talking about Pamela.
Oh, poor Pamela. Oh, poor child. She tries though. She really does. But she cannot put together a match if Sasha ain't in it.
My God, it's so
actually, you know what? She gave Alexa Bliss one of her only good matches where Alexa Bliss actually bumped more than 3 times. It was a sight to behold. It was a good match. She lost the belt, but it was a good match.
So apparently Zelina's billed at 5'1". I don't believe
that. That's a motherfucking lie.
There is no way. There is no way. No,
that you know what that's called liabilities.
I'm 6'3".
Right. That's like when they were saying like Adam Cole is like 6'3", and I'm like,
no,
okay,
he's not.
Okay,
yeah. Listen. That is the smallest boy I've ever seen in my life. That shitty little body of his.
It's
so tiny.
Like he's built like a tube of toothpaste. Like he's the same width from shoulders to ankle. Like I don't. Yeah. I just his arms are like abnormally short for like his body, and it's always freaking me out.
I love him though.
Like
all Pantene hair.
Yes, he is all Pantene hair. There you go.
I guess I've never noticed his body build. He's just he just looks. I don't know. He looks so average to me. Like I would never like. He's like the guy that's like flirting with me at the bar at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, huh, you'll do. Like,
like you all right. You all right.
Like he's just so like forgettable. Ricochet like is a beautiful man. And if I saw him, I mean, I literally would see his ass cheeks like bumping left and right if he was walking into the bar because he's built like a motherfucker. But like Adam Cole is so forgetful to me. I always forget he's there.
It's true. Yeah, no, like if he did not have as much charisma as he does, like he would just be, wrestler number 2. So I have a question actually, since we have someone that works in fashion, and then we also have somebody that draws, and like so she knows something about like designs and such. Who has the worst gear right now in WWE?
The worst gear.
Yes.
The worst gear.
And who has the best? Because there's some terrible ones. Because like Andrade, was for a long time when he
Oh,
had
the
like
pimp.
Those suspenders.
when he had the suspenders with the stripper outfit. I was like, all right, bro. Oh, now this isn't working. But yeah, like we've had some fashion faux pas.
That's a really hard question. I would never put a woman in there because women have to do so much more. They have to keep their titties in. They've got to keep everything tight, lifted. Like, so their outfits to me are always, they hit that spot that I like in wrestling, which is like glamour and like over the topness.
Yeah.
I also don't like black tights because I'm just like, you're a born white guy. But like I think the Undisputed guys, don't they only wear black tights?
Yep.
But it works for them,
Right?
because they're just kind of like, hey, we're just super indie.
Well, they have like
workers
designs on their
ass. Oh,
They
that's
have
surprising that I
tights.
wasn't paying attention.
Leave my boys alone. I love them.
Oh, I
They're
love
such
it,
trash.
Kyle O'Reilly. Wow, that's a stumper.
Because I
Yeah.
haven't really thought like that's terrible. I have not.
Oh,
I mean, I
Ronda,
guess
you know what?
Lars.
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
I'll
Okay.
give her that. Because, like, girl, is your vagina that big? Like, why can't you?
What?
Why can't you keep your shorts down? Why can
Thank
everyone
you.
keep
She's
their
always
shorts
pulling
down,
her freaking shorts down.
But this is the
hell?
thing.
can't do it?
She's been doing that since when she was in MMA. So it's like,
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a thing.
yeah,
It's like a
Like-
tick.
I just feel like she's gonna get a yeast infection and something's gonna jiggle the wrong way. Like, I'm just worried for her well-being. That's all I'm concerned about.
but like, so the thing was like that's the thing. Her constantly like tugging on her shorts, like when she was in MMA, was like part of the reason why she would end up getting like knocked out and stuff. Because she was like, she's so worried about like
Wherever she looks.
right how she looked and like
Yeah.
was presenting, like even
Sounds
like,
like a do nothing bitch to me.
but like so like the
Sip.
first match that she had in the UFC, she had like this super low cut like top on, and it was like, wait, and she constantly throughout the whole match had to continuously pull back up. So this is like a thing where she chooses like just fashion over actual functionality, and it's like you've had a whole 10 years now to figure this out. Why have you not?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
going on here?
I'll take that question that you asked us, and I'll turn it around to everyone. Who do you think has the best wardrobe for everyone
Best
on the roster?
Well, I think
Velvet
Charlotte is whoever does Charlotte's Final Fantasy 10 capes like
Her
that.
capes are beautiful.
Yeah.
They are
They're
gorgeous.
God. Yeah.
Ricochet's walkout coat is pretty damn nice too. With the
I said
wig.
Velveteen
Yeah.
Dream just because I know exactly who you are the second you walk out each time. There's something
Very
about
true.
the way that he moves and the way that it works, and I'm always excited to see what he's wearing because it's always something different.
And the last two takeovers, he's been trolling Hulk Hogan, so that's pretty fun.
So good. So
Yeah, I love that white people are like, "Oh, he just likes Hulk." It's like, nah.
Oh, he's trolling.
We all know.
You're right. If you know, you know. Like it is
Yeah.
best wardrobe.
In the chat, we got someone says from a geek perspective, Gargano has like a really good wardrobe.
Oh, he does have a really good fucking wardrobe. You know what? I'd even add Amber Moon to that. Like, I don't know what's happening. You're Teen Wolf, you're
her
Xena,
Mortal
but
Kombat.
it's incredible.
That is,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
It's because she's a nerd and she gets it.
Yeah, that's true.
She cosplays, so she's like, yeah, I got this.
Oh, God,
I don't.
love
I
her
have
so
to
much.
say the New Day probably on a regular basis has the
Oh,
best.
yeah.
Because like it's always constantly changing.
Mhm.
Like when they had like the kente cloth joints for a while, I was like, this is it. Like they can just wear this for the rest of the time, and I am happy as hell. But ooh, best. That's a tough one actually. That
Well,
is
the
a tough
worst one, we got to vote for Baron Corbin.
No, best is Alicia Fox, hands down. Looks every week.
You know what, I love me some Alicia Fox, and like she's like, you know what, I'm not gonna get on TV, but you're gonna see this motherfucking hat. Like,
Word. She
Like-
loves her hats.
she will
rocks.
fucking deck out knowing she ain't got no motherfucking match, and she's just like, y'all gonna see me.
Oh yeah, she is. She comes out like she is about to walk on RuPaul's Drag Race every goddamn week.
She looks amazing.
And it's always great. Like coming out looking like a disco ball. It's so
shit.
good. It's so good.
So for worst dress, we got a Baron Corbin nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like a really shitty dive bar bartender.
There it is. That's exactly what it is. Yes. Yeah.
Who only pays attention to the girls at the bar.
Yeah.
I'll get you a drink when I get to it. Fuck you, man. I want my Coke.
I was next in line. Baron gave my damn drink. Yeah. That's why your dumbass ain't getting a tip.
He does look a lot better with his haircut, though.
So
yeah.
infinitely. Like there's a lot of folks where it's like Ricochet, so happy that he finally realized, like just accepted that it was going, because sir, it had been happening for a solid 6 years. You had to just let it go. And it looks so much better because his beard is flourishing. Just like sometimes when you accept the baldness, everything else just falls into place.
And you fine, man. You all right. You already fine. You good.
Exactly. It's like you already know you're a good looking dude. Trying to hold on to that shit just makes you ugly. Like it's bad.
And a full like red velvet like suit with like cute little loafers. I was like, oh my god, Angel, look at you.
Love that. I have that exact outfit. Like literally the velvet loafers, and I have a burgundy jacket, and I have the exact same pant. I have 3 burgundy suits. I fucking love the way he dresses.
I was still
like his regular clothes. I think he's
I still was like the whole no sock or no show socks, because I was like,
what is with y'all? Why don't y'all understand that? Like, what's
because like it's super. Like the weather here is weird in Georgia, because like it's today was like 50 degrees, but tomorrow it might be like 20 degrees. So we can't do no show socks. We need socks. You got to cover the ankles. I don't want to see anybody seeing that I'm ashy. So, you know, there's that.
This is why I walk around with a Merce, and I always got lotion in my bag.
Oh no, I always have a stick of cocoa butter with me it's somewhere. Like that is no. You can't leave the house. Can't leave the house without my contact solution, cocoa butter, and like some sort of mint. Because no, I refuse to. No.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I would have thought moving to Texas, I wouldn't need the cocoa butter, but I already need it, and I'm thinking, yo, it's not even wintertime yet. Why the hell am I like chapped? What's going on?
Where do you live in Texas?
In Dallas.
Oh, it's dry heat. That's
that's cool. Mm-hmm. I've been there once. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fun. The wrestling out here isn't the greatest sometimes, but it's entertaining because of the crowd.
We went to some part of Dallas, and it was like it got weird. It was like white ghetto, and it was weird. And but all my friends were white that I was with, and I was like the most confident person walking through, like wearing a suit.
No surprise there.
Yeah, I was just like, oh fuck it. What are they gonna do? Kill me? Shoot me once. And then we kept going where we were going. And then where our Airbnb was, there was a lot of American flags. And I am an American, but there is nothing that terrifies me more than being in the South and seeing an American flag.
Same.
So I walked out of those neighborhoods so quick.
America.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah. Now there's some down here in the South. It's some interesting. Like I literally live in a state where there are Confederate soldiers carved into the side of a giant rock. So you know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I live in Florida, so that's pretty much all I got to do there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got like, all the crazy people.
You got to worry about bath salts, crocodiles, and Jimmy. Like, sorry, girl.
And who?
Jimmy, you know, the white guy down the street.
Oh, yeah.
Generic white guy.
Generic white guy number 4.
Between
like,
that.
Oh, wow. I didn't. Yeah.
And then also you have all the Caribbean people as well. So that's a different level of crazy that we kind of bring to the table.
And then I moved up north, and now I have all the crazy white people and the Caribbean people. And it is, I'm like, this is out of control. Like,
yeah.
It does not matter what part of Orlando I go to, it is a mess.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So, since I haven't had Darnell or Kat on the show before, I want to just kind of come out with this really quick and say, who is the worst wrestler right now on the scene that you're like, what the hell, man or woman?
Okay. This is a loaded question. Do you mean in terms of like specifically wrestling? Because I could think someone is like a bad wrestler, but I think that they're a really good person and they try really hard. Or I can think someone is a good wrestler, but they're a piece of shit person.
Oh, that's Ronda Rousey. Well, sorry.
Well,
oh no, I'm not even gonna mention like anyone in WWE. I'm going straight independence.
Okay, how about both?
Yeah.
Who's a bad wrestler?
Oh, I don't. Why did we do that? You know, it's not my brand.
Ladies
I know
first.
you're not wholesome. I know.
And this is like in her plant contract that she can't say anything bad about anybody in WWE.
I'm not even WWE. I don't want to bury anybody. Oh no.
I
locked myself away.
I don't think, and she's not gonna listen to us. It's weird because there's certain people who I like don't particularly care for the wrestlers, and their girlfriends follow me on Twitter, and I'm just like, that's weird that you follow me. And I don't think she's gonna listen to us. I don't think Sami Callihan is a particularly good wrestler. I think he has the same match every single fucking time. I get it, you run around the ring, and it is what it is, but I don't think he's a very particularly good wrestler.
He also spits a lot,
which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he does to the ladies that he dates. Wait, sorry. Sami Callihan is my answer.
Kat.
I'm trying to think, man. I don't know. I'm looking at my cat for answers, and he's not providing me with anything. It sucks. I don't know.
All right. Well, I've gone on record and said Leva Bates is one of probably the worst wrestlers I've ever seen, and a second would probably be Christy Janes, just because.
What the fuck is that?
Oh my God! You don't know who Christy Janes is?
For apparently a good reason.
All right,
I
Darnell.
just thought about my.
Look up Christy Janes versus Rachel Ellering.
Ooh, this sounds awful. Oh, you know what it is? You know who the other one is? Okay, Sami Callihan, I just don't think is a good wrestler. And you know who I think is not a good wrestler, but I think a really good person? Marty fucking Bell.
Oh, she's a horrible wrestler.
But she seems like such a nice person. And I'm just like, oh, I really want you to get this. But girl, press L2. Like, press like, she does not, it does not work for her. But I'm like, God, you are such a nice person. But yeah, when you said Rachel Ellering, because I thought about that Mae Young Classic, man, and I was like, girl, what the fuck is going on up in this piece?
That was pretty bad in that match.
Yeah.
Kat, you said you thought of yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. What's her name? I can see her face, but I can't. She worked Women of Honor. Boobs.
Mandy Leon.
Yes!
She's really pretty. Why am I not surprised Mandy Leon is the pick of worst wrestler?
Well, this is the thing too about like it sucks that we all picked a woman wrestler, but this is the thing where, and I'm going to be very careful in the way I say this, is that I want more queer wrestlers, women wrestlers, and people of color being represented in all forms of wrestling. However, we, as a collective group of anyone who is in that, need to also make sure that we're supporting the good ones,
right?
Because you are a part of that group, does not mean that you should be heralded as being actually good. For example, I have some heat with some gay wrestlers here in the tri-state area, and I wish them the best in all their lives. But the reason why you have heat with me is not because I get mad at you because you're an asshole. It's because your gimmick is that you're gay, because you have no redeeming qualities as a wrestler. You're not a good wrestler. There's a reason why Sonny Kiss doesn't have to rely on his gayness, because he can fucking wrestle.
Right.
And if you're queer, I'm automatically going to be like, yeah, gung ho. But honey, if you can't hit a move, like if it's just like weight detection, like fuck up WWE, like I'm not getting you, and you just suck, and I'm sorry that you're queer because I know I should like you more, but Mandy is fucking awful, gorgeous girl,
Yeah.
but ooh, girl,
And like,
I'll add fucking Velvet Sky. I hate that girl. She blocked me on Twitter because I said she had creative wrestler hair. She vanity searched that too.
Bro.
She said she's got what?
She's got the highlights still, right?
Yeah, it looks awful, and she still can't hit a clothesline after fucking 13 years. Give it up.
Well, Kelly still can't run the ropes.
So let's not even go to there because it's
with her finisher, the K2, which in today's times is a whole lot different now with that meaning. I could just hear Michael Cole, the K2, and they're out. It's like
Spice.
That's the point.
Oh my goodness.
I just looked up Chrissy James. Is that her name? Does she have glasses sometimes?
Yes.
Wow, that was
I got to see her. The first time I saw her was actually, it was like a clip where she was wrestling against Harlow, and it looked like Harlow DDT'd her into a like it looked stiff. I was like, ooh, poor girl. But
I was at that match. That was at the Making Towns Classic. It was really, and I talked to someone backstage afterwards, and they were like, "Yep, she shouldn't have been in this tournament to start with, but she looks nice."
ooh,
Does she? Oh, sorry, that's not nice either. She looks like a makeshift Candice LeRae with that outfit, though. I'm not really sure.
You know who is? So she's like Candice LeRae, and what's the tall volleyball chick in?
Rhea Ripley?
You
No.
mean female Jay White?
No, what's Kat? You know who I'm talking about? She had like the weird baby gimmick for a while.
Jesse.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like everybody kind of has like people keep going for this weird like I am a nerd uncoordinated type thing, and it's like y'all got to find a new gimmick. Like y'all can't all have the same exact gimmick.
Like with all the gimmicks in the world, like especially for women who don't even get the opportunities to be anything other than a mean girl. Like girl, like put some glitter on it, do something different. Sorry, now I feel like this is becoming. You know who else is weird to me, but everyone really likes her? Santana Garrett.
Oh,
okay. So Santana Garrett
she's too delicate.
It's very pageant queen.
Yeah.
Is what it is with her. Like she's got like she smiles through the entirety of the match. And like everything, like what she does in the ring is picture perfect most of the time.
Oh my god, it looks like a video game. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's like there's nothing behind it. You know, like it's just everything's just kind of very vapid, and it's like, and like when she was in the like Mae Young Classic the first time around, like she's basically exactly what the WWE would want. Like she's gorgeous. She
they do
is
not
great,
want her.
but there's nothing there.
She smiles a lot. That's about it.
Yes, a lot.
Like even when she was working heel in New York at House of Glory, Darnell, she was working against Sonya Strong, and she smiled throughout the whole match. So yeah, horrible.
Did I see that match? No, I saw Tessa and Sonya at House of Glory.
Oh my god,
that was
so sorry.
Well, that was interesting because we were selling artwork, me and my friend Earl, and we were right next to Ricochet and Tessa, and Ricochet was super nice and Tessa was really nice, even though like I hear things. But I only saw her for like 5 minutes, and we like singing songs to each other, and then like I was like, can we take a selfie? I was like, I'm not gonna pay you though. I literally said that to her. She's like, oh, it's fine, you're fine. But it was an all right match, but like even something with Tessa to me is a little off, and I don't know.
It
is. She's
that's
great
a whole
look.
other episode. That's a whole other episode.
I have talked about that before.
There are a great many things as to why she won't get to like the top stage of things.
It's her chin, isn't it?
And it's not just that.
no.
No, but
See
like
her
that.
chin
no.
Ah.
Sadly, that is absolutely going to be a reason why she's not going to make it, right?
But I can't say that because Ginny, for example, and I love me some Ginny from
Ginny
from
is
UK,
everything.
but she also has a very long face. So it
Yeah,
can't
but like
be-
she's got like edits. She has like model magazine editorial face though. Like with Tessa,
good
it's
point.
like with Tessa. So if you look at like if we look at women that have been in the WWE, right? Because that is what everybody in wrestling essentially usually strives for, to be on the biggest stage, right? When you go back and look at women that have had similar facial structures to her, and this isn't like I'm not trying to do this like on some sexist type stuff or whatever. I'm just going off of how the WWE has treated women in the past. The last woman that had a facial structure like her was China prior to having surgery.
I mean, you're right.
And like that's the so it's like when you look at the last person that had the same type of facial structure as her, they like basically made her get surgery in order for her to become, more acceptable. And it was like, that's rough. So like as long as the powers that be are still there in the WWE, that's going to be like aesthetics, especially when it comes to women, are always going to be an issue as long as Vince McMahon and company are still at the head of the company, because they have not only is it something that they want, but they have essentially programmed their fan base over the past 3 decades or so to like a certain thing.
That's true. That's very much so true. Like it's, she could wrestle, but she's not that pretty. But who gives a shit? Can she fucking wrestle?
Right. Which
that
was
should be. That's why I've said before that if Luna Vachon was around now, we would appreciate her a lot more.
Absolutely.
Or Jazz would be appreciated a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Because even looking back at the days when it was Sable and Jackie, like Jackie got no like crowd response for certain things. Jackie's body was fucking fire. Like she was a beautiful woman, but she wasn't.
She was the WWE. Right, she wasn't blonde and white because that's what the WWE wanted.
Like I love Jackie so much.
Yeah, but like I said, as long as like once Vince dies, and then once Michael Hayes dies, and Road Dogg dies, and all of them die off, like because they're gonna have jobs as long as they're alive, like. Until that group and Kevin Dunn especially.
Especially Kevin Dunn.
Once they go away, we are going. Not only are we going to see more like a more of a variety when it comes to women, but we're going to see more variety when it comes to just like ethnic backgrounds and characters and things, because they still operate under this, like as we saw this week with the whole peeing on robes stuff. Like they are still stuck in 1972 with like how they people. It's like, no, like if somebody pees on my robe, I'm whooping somebody's ass. Like,
yeah, I mean, and it's so weird. It's like Vince McMahon, say you like water sports and go.
Right. Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
which there's nothing wrong with that. If you like water sports, knock yourself out, have fun, do it in the shower, make sure you clean it up. But like,
but I don't. Yeah, like you don't have to do it on TV and basically force everybody else.
Who is Drake Maverick now? Like he's like 15 different people. I'm like, aren't you the GM of how am I supposed to take you seriously as the GM of 205 Live?
I think maybe he's a dual personality.
Yeah.
So what he's like
two characters, one body.
So he's like the character in Split.
That's a great movie.
Yes, it is.
So since Dio, I know you got to get out of here. Let's start the 2-minute warning. So any last parting shots there, Kat or Darnell, before we get off?
I don't know.
Since Kat doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Listen, I'm sensitive.
She just kept us grounded.
I'm sensitive, so I'm trying.
You're
really
wholesome.
trying.
I know. You're wholesome.
I'm not. So no.
This is why I love Darnell. He's not.
Let me talk my shit real quick. Hold on, I got something to say.
My drink.
Hold my beer.
I just think that we should all be nicer on Twitter. I try to be a little bit nicer. I know I can be a little sassy, but like try to be nicer. Let's stop trying to sabotage other people by various means. And then wrestlers, please take a social media class because good God, you need it. And then one thing that's super, super important, and I wanted to say it before, I love it when people get inspired by wrestlers. That's amazing. That's fantastic. But if the wrestler that inspires you consistently talks about how progressive, how awesome, how much of an ally, how amazing they are as a person, that's probably not the person you should aspire to like. It's the people that actually don't have to say all that actually mean it. That's all.
Very true. Very true.
No one in particular.
Oh, I was just about to ask you, was there anyone in particular?
Oh no, that's the
saying,
majority of wrestling Twitter. Like that
no
is
one that I'm seeing next week, December 6th in Brooklyn at Outlaw Wrestling. No one.
Do you want to plug that show real quick?
I am going to be at that show, Outlaw Wrestling, December 6th. I'm super excited for Casanova Nova and Abominable CPA. I really love Abominable CPA, kayfabe. He's a sweetheart, and Casanova gives the best hugs. And I get to see Orange Cassidy, who's really fucking hot, and he's going to make me laugh so much. And then there's going to be other people there too.
So y'all should go if you are in that area.
It's in Brooklyn, right, Darnell?
Oh yes, it is. Oh my god, I can totally plug shit. I'm also helping with Uncanny Attraction. It's going to be on December 15th, the House of Yes in Brooklyn. It's going to be a dance party. It's called Drags and Dropkicks. Sunny Kiss will be there. Effie will be there.
That is an amazing
Casanova, Bull James. It's MV Young is actually the person who is promoting it. He's a really good friend of mine. I will be the timekeeper and the social media guy and the backstage interviewer. I'm super, super excited. So please go see that December 15th in Brooklyn, House of Yes. It's going to be amazing. And it's super gay.
Always great.
That was going.
That is a great time.
I know, like, I want to go now too. Shit. Like,
yeah.
I miss New
I gotta
York.
look up a flight, man. Like,
do I have
I'm not making that drive again, so
like, do I have enough flyer miles to go up that weekend? Like, what is going? All right, yeah, I don't got anything to plug. Most of wrestling Twitter is garbage. So yeah, that's all I got.
Wow, I was over
you
here.
think like the closer to Christmas we'd get, like people might get nicer. Maybe it's
oh my god, I work in retail. I realize that the closer to Christmas you get, the worse people get.
Yep.
See, I haven't been able to go to work for 2 weeks, and I still have 2 more weeks off, and I've like completely lost the retail vibe of Christmas.
Oh, lucky you.
And you're gonna jump right back into it.
Oh, yeah, I have to go back like the week before Christmas, and I'm like, this is gonna be terrible.
Oh my god.
My manager has already been like, are you sure you can't lift more than 5 pounds? And I'm like, dude, I can't do anything. Like, I would love to come back because I'm really not meant to be at home this long, but I can't do anything until I'm cleared. So
you're lucky I'm showing up. Okay.
Right.
Come on, man. I literally almost died. Like, I'm showing up. Come on.
yeah, bro. I was out. Like, so
Ain't that something? And I'll say this as my parting shot. When you work in certain fields, Dio, before we go, back in my day, we paid our dues.
Oh my god, we didn't talk about that.
Let's do it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, back in my this back in my day, we paid our dues. Shit is like, well, okay, that's back in your day, and your day was a time when you didn't have access to all of this stuff that we currently have. Like, why would I go and do the same bullshit that you did back in the day when I don't need to? Like, the industry's not what the industry was back then. Why would I spend all my time in a rental car going from city to city to city to city working for $15?
Exactly. You also we are charging people $200 for fucking look, and also look who the fuck said it. We're charging people $200 fucking dollars for front row tickets. It's fucking Sammy Callahan, who like used to do people's fucking graphics to get on fucking shows. Let's be what it is. It's fucking who's the other one? Who else said something? Joey Janela, who like Joey Janela got everywhere. Like, yeah, he made a name out of himself from social media, but like his friends helped him out quite a bit getting his bookings. It's all these people who had so much help. It's like, did you really work very hard to pay your dues, or did you just guys? Because I know several guys that do it now. Did you just live with 10 guys in a fucking room and hope one of you guys made it? And now once one of y'all made it, you're all on the same fucking show. Because I know if I go to a same show in Midwest, I know I'm seeing the exact same motherfucking people at every fucking show because you're getting your friends' fucking bookings.
And that is the tea.
It is what it is, and it's fine. In the same way that I know homies up in the Northeast be sucking all the cock to get their bookings, and it is what it is. But I don't act like it's paying the dues when I know what y'all doing for real life, because I know what's going on behind the scenes, because I know more than you think I do.
And like that's the other thing too, like with the whole paying your dues, is like, okay, there's always like this kind of like veil of secrecy as to what paying your dues actually was. And like the more we find out about what actually paying your dues was, it's like, who would really want to go through all of that, mental and physical, abuse.
I have one friend who's a very attractive guy, and 6 different promoters said they would book him if he gave him a dick pic. 6 different promoters, and I've seen the text. So that's the thing, is that like, don't do that bullshit thing that you're doing. We know what the fuck is going on, and that's another thing. Wrestling fans need to stay wrestling fans. It actually is not, and I'll tell you who it is once we're not recording. I'll totally tell you who it is. But like, this like wrestling fans need to stay wrestling fans. Man, I hang out with wrestlers and we have a drink and y'all tell me every fucking thing.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
I slept with a couple of wrestlers and they tell me every fucking thing. Like, it ain't that fucking hard to figure out what the fuck is going on backstage. It's y'all that are like ruining the business and telling all the business, not us. Like, y'all the one with the flappy mouths. Like,
in more ways than one.
I talked to somebody and they told me that I was too nice to be a wrestler. And I was like, why is that? And they told me, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
90% of those stories you hear are real.
It is a predatory system.
No, I believe it. And I'm not down for being predatored upon.
Nope.
Right.
So
yeah. Like, it's men are trash.
I think that's the best way to get off on that, is men are trash. Male wrestlers can sometimes
unintended get off.
I see what you did there. Kat, do you want to plug your website?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. My website is artxcore.bigcartel. It's artxcore.bigcartel.com.
That's
Give
a mouthful.
her your money.
I think I'm going to try to do a Christmas sale. I kind of wanted to make these Nightmare Before Christmas wreaths. Maybe I'll do like a pre-order for them. Because like I really gotta finish some time here, man. I gotta do something with myself. So I might do a pre-order for some wreaths. Yeah.
So I got nothing to plug. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm everywhere pretty much.
Yeah, we out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
And I want to do this again, and this next time without me sounding like Christian Bale. I want to do this again because I miss my voice.
We all miss your voice, Damian.
I know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Podcast Champs. For Darnell, for Kat, for Dio, this is Damon G. We love you. Some of y'all anyway. Have a good night.